A night of restlessness has left me feeling fairly groggy this morning. The events of the previous day keep intruding upon my mind. The memory of how Emmy felt against me. The memory of our wrestling match. And, most bothersome, the memory of her nightmare. She was in so much pain. I can't stop wondering what it must be like for her to wake up with nobody there. The shower shocks me awake with hot water. Awake, but still worried. What will happen today? Will things just go back to normal? End of the episode and back to the status quo? There was a connection yesterday, something that nearly pushed us past the boundaries of normal friendship. Would that have been so bad? My mind goes back to the look in Emmy's eyes after our pillow fight. It almost seemed like she was daring me to go on. Almost. But I can't know for sure. Anyway, the track captain is probably first in her affections. But even as I say that, my mind is already snorting derisively. I'm just looking for an excuse, a reason for everything to go wrong. A reason not to try. It's not as if I've even seen the two of them together outside of track practice. And clearly he's never visited. Emmy said as much herself. If they were close, surely he'd visit. I'm such a wuss. I ought to just go for it anyway. Damn the consequences. That's what Emmy would do, I think. Hell, I know that's what she'd do. Which is partially why I'm convinced there's no interest on her end. She hasn't acted either. Maybe because of the track captain. It's possible she's got a bit of an unrequited crush thing going on. But who would be able to clarify the relationship? It sure as hell can't be Emmy. She'd probably just laugh and ask why I wanted to know. And I'm not ready to answer that yet. Rin would probably just give me some cryptic answer or something. And then with my luck, she'd just ask Emmy, who would ask me why I wanted to know, and I've already covered that problem. I wonder, could I get away with asking the nurse? He seems pretty protective of Emmy. I'm sure he'd know if something was up. And he owes me for not letting Emmy know he forgot to tell me about her being ill, so he'll keep it quiet. What if he asks me why I want to know, though? I can shake him off. Just say I'm curious as a friend. He'll buy that, right? Of course! That's settled then. After the run, I'll talk to him while Emmy's waiting outside the office. There's no sign of Emmy when I arrive at the track. Is she still too ill? I decide to give her 10 minutes. I'm a little early, and she was ill yesterday, so if she takes a while to show up, it shouldn't be surprising. Still, I'd hate to waste my time, so I occupy myself by stretching and pacing back and forth anxiously. What if I went too far yesterday? What if she doesn't come because she's embarrassed? What if...
You're early again, Hisao. I'm impressed.
Just like that, I feel some of the tension leaving my body. Emmy seems to be bright and cheerful as usual, with no sign that she was even ill the other day, and much less had a less than restful sleep. Still, I have to ask. You sleep well last night? It's just a throwaway question, small talk. The sort of thing people ask someone they bump into in the cafe while getting their morning coffee. But not for us. At least, not for me. I don't know if Emmy realizes that I'm actually concerned about how well she slept last night, but the question does give her pause. After a short moment of what seems like her genuinely pondering this, she nods.
Yep, sure did.
Was it because of me? Did I actually help? Or are you just saying that to get me to stop asking questions? Good to hear. Emmy grins and begins warming up.
So, ready to begin?
Am I ready? Of course I'm ready. I was born ready. Emmy laughs at my bravado, and we take off running. I keep a steady pace the whole time, breathing steadily. I still feel dead at the end, but at least I don't gasp like a fish out of water now. Emmy is positively beaming after the run today.
Nice job, Hisao! You're improving! You'll be half as fast as me in no time.
This last line is delivered with a teasing grin I've grown all too used to. Oh, how exciting! Emmy begins to run her sprints while I take a cool-down lap. She's really pushing herself today. By the time I'm done with my lap, she's laying across one of the bleachers looking exhausted. Goodness, not pushing it a little too much today, are you? You did just have a cold, you'll recall. Emmy gives an annoyed snort and sits up.
Ah, I'm just trying to make up for lost time, that's all. I went twice as hard today, you know. A good run always gets the kinks out, you know? Clears the mind, too.
Oh? Emmy nods vigorously.
Yep, it's a great outlet for that sort of thing.
She doesn't explain further, and I don't ask. I suspect I know the real reason she went so hard today. Being sick had nothing to do with it. Something's bothering her. Maybe the nightmare. Maybe something else. But it's not my place to pry. She'd tell me if she wanted me to know. I'm sure that comes in handy.
You have no idea.
The sincerity in her voice confirms my suspicion. The only problem is, even though I know she'd tell me if she wanted me to know, I still want to know. Something on your mind, then? Emmy doesn't seem surprised by the question. Instead, she shrugs. It's kinda her thing.
Nah, it's nothing worth getting worried about.
She seems as if she's trying to convince herself as much as she's convincing me. I open my mouth to ask if yesterday is responsible for her current state of mind, but think better of it. Too much risk of her taking the question the wrong way. Besides, I'm not even sure myself what to think about yesterday. Really, I can only get about as far as how it felt to have Emmy sleeping next to me before my brain shuts down. Having her before me now, covered in sweat and looking wryly at me, it's making it difficult to think. Yeah, I hear ya.
We'd better hurry to see the nurse. We're running short on time.
I mean, aren't we always? Emmy laughs at this, a dry chuckle that seems almost un-Emmy-like.
Too true.
For a brief moment, she looks old, worn down by some old hurt. But just like yesterday, I can almost see her shouldering the burden and straightening up slightly. And then she's back to being Emmy again.
Come on then, Hisao. Race ya!
And with a sudden smile, she darts off. Hey, no fair! I take off after her, knowing I won't catch her, but not caring. Even if there's no chance of catching her, I'll still run after her. Emmy's waiting for me at the door as I arrive.
Well, well, look who's finally shown up.
Yeah. Enjoy your victory while you can. Emmy grins as the nurse pokes his head out of the door.
Well, there you are. Come on in, Hisao.
In what's become a familiar routine by now, he checks my blood pressure and my heart rate.
A bit fast today, isn't it?
Yeah, I kinda raced Emmy here. The nurse laughs. Didn't see that one coming.
That's never a good idea.
He leans in to whisper to me in a conspiratory manner.
I don't know if you've heard, but Emmy's a bit of a track star.
I reel back in mock surprise. What, really? She never mentioned it before. The two of us share a laugh.
Did she do okay today? Cold seemed to bother her?
Why don't you ask her? He rolls his eyes in exasperation.
Of course I'm going to ask her too, but she'll tell me that she didn't have any problems regardless of whether or not she did. So I'm asking you because you're her friend, and would probably tell me if she had any trouble today.
When he puts it that way, it makes a lot more sense. She seemed pretty good today, if a little more tired than usual. She was already feeling better when I dropped by yesterday, so I'm not that surprised. The nurse nods, though I notice he tenses slightly when I mention yesterday's visit.
Well, that's good to hear. I figured it was just a 24-hour thing. Emmy tends to recover quickly from colds and the like.
Hey, speaking of Emmy, are she and the track captain, well, you know. A look of suspicion crosses his face.
Why do you ask?
Well, it's just that they seem kinda close, and I was just curious, you know? And I'd never ask her because that would be kind of embarrassing. So far, so good. Now to really sell it. Besides, I think they'd make a cute couple. The nurse laughs.
Well, I don't suppose you're the first to think that. But I think I can say with some certainty that the two of them will never do anything like that.
Certainty?
Yep. Not that I could tell you, of course. Confidentiality and all that.
Yeah, right. You just like holding a secret over my head.
That too. Right, get out of here. I'm a busy man, you know. I'm like Santa Claus.
I roll my eyes at that final statement and head out the door, motioning Emmy to go in. The whole time, I'm trying to keep from doing a celebratory dance. The two of them will never do anything like that. That's precisely the sort of thing I wanted to hear. I'm half tempted to make some sort of move on Emmy right now, but I think the nurse would probably disapprove. Besides, I still don't know exactly how Emmy feels about me. I mean, it's obvious that she cares about me as a friend, but something more than that? I can't be certain. Even so, I can't help but feel hopeful. I just need to figure out a good time to tell Emmy exactly how I feel. That puzzle should keep me occupied for the rest of the day at least, like in 3 episodes, or maybe 7. The rooftop is completely deserted. Normally I could count on Rin to be up here before me, but she's strangely absent. I wonder if she decided to accompany Emmy to the cafeteria for once. It seems pretty unlikely, but it's all I can think of right now. Part of me wants to go look for Rin, but a far larger part of me is way too pleased with the way the sun feels on my skin to care. I pick idly at my lunch while I wait for Emmy and Rin to show up. It doesn't take too long for me to hear the sounds of someone coming up the stairs. I wait until the door begins to open before talking. Took you long enough. Keeping me waiting for you? Honestly. The two of you are... Huh? Well, that's odd. The only person standing in the doorway is Emmy, who looks mildly confused.
What do you mean, huh? It's me. You know, Emmy. We run in the mornings.
She grins, and I feel my heart jump slightly in my chest at the sight. Yes, I knew that. I'm just confused. Where's Rin? Emmy's grin is replaced by a rather guilty-looking expression.
Yeah, about that. I kind of, sort of... Give her my cold.
Oh dear. Am I at risk too? It would make sense after all. Emmy and I were in close contact the other day. So what did she and Rin do that got her ill? Steady on, lad. Don't go down that road. Rin's just probably got a worse immune system than me. Emmy seems shocked by my comment, like she hadn't considered that before.
I hope not. I'll feel terrible if you got ill because of me, Hisao.
Oh man, I think I feel a fever coming on. Emmy looks horrified and then quickly shifts into a more angry expression.
Hisao! You stop getting sick this instant! I won't have it!
Impulsively, she seizes me by the collar.
Let's go! Project!